But the problem that I want to bring up to you here is none of my islands are accessible to anyone. None of them. And just to I'm not supporting or condoning any other island here, but let's just pick one, for example, that I've never played before. I've never played this one. It's new and it's updated, right? I've never played this. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to have public already selected, and I'm going to hit play. Downloading. Already doing it, right? Great. So here we go. We're going to connect. Right, we're finding server. Game found. All normal, right? Okay. So we made it into the game. We're here. It's working, right? Great. So, actually, it looks kind of cool. I might actually try it. Again, I'm not condoning or promoting this particular game, but let's return to lobby. So now let's go to one of my games, and it's not showing up here as recently played, so I'm going to have to go back down to my favorites, because I can't actually get it to play. I can't get any of my games, so here's my favorites. Here's one of my games. This is one of my latest games. Actually, I think it is my literal latest game. And just to show you, okay, so let's view creator. So I have all these games that I've created, right? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to select this one. It's max 50 players. This is not. I mean, this is one of my bigger games. So, you know, this isn't going to be the best example, you know, because. But anyway, let's. And now it's working. I'm back because this had gotten further than it had ever gotten before, which threw me off, and I thought, okay, well, I guess I got to scrap this whole thing because it's actually working, you know, one of those numbers. But it's not working. This is a bigger game. It's not this big, and I have fiber internet, okay? So it should not be taking over 2 minutes to download, right? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to cancel this because this should not take over 2 minutes. So let's try one of my other games. Okay. I guess we're going to have to, you know what? I think we can just go back to view creator. Let's just try the older version of that game. Okay. The first version of that game. Preparing to download. It did act like it was finding a server, and then it went back to downloading again. Okay, so this is what got cut off before. Okay, again, this is further than I've ever gotten. Before, it was just stuck at preparing to download, and that's what my ticket says when I've submitted it to Epic. But let's give it about a minute. Okay, again, this is a smaller game than Anarchy 2. Okay, there's a lot less going on in it. This one shouldn't take this long to download. And we saw it go to 100% already. So what is it doing sitting at downloading and then this time frame, you know? My concern is that everyone else can't get into my games either. Okay? Which means I'm not making money, which is not really the main reason that I'm in this. But I did make the games, and I did want people to be able to play them, and they're not able to play them. Okay? I want to be able to play my own games. And I can't. And we're already over a minute. So I'm going to cancel this one. Let's try another one. I'm going to try my smallest game. Okay? So let's go to, I think it's this one. Yeah. In terms of map size and the amount of things that are going on, see, it's a 16 player game. It's a 8-8. You know, you can see in the preview, you can see how big this map is. See? Right? It's all of this area in the surrounding area. This is faux map. Okay? You can't play there. Okay? So this is a small game. So I'm going to select it. Going to play. Preparing to download. See, this is where I would get stuck. And it would never complete. Okay? And then we're going to, when I test another one after this, I'm going to attempt to load up yet another game that was not made by me. And we'll see if it actually lets me in. Just to prove the point that I think that Epic is either archiving or pushing games that they think aren't getting played to some void or something. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it, but they're not letting people get into games that certain creators have made. I mean, I don't think they're targeting me specifically, but I am curious to know as to whether or not other people who are not as well known as me are also having this problem. Okay? So again, we've let this go for probably way too long, so I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel. And I'm going to go back to my other games. How about this one I have seen somebody playing it not that long ago in my analytics. Somebody has played this, and they played it for like, I want to say it was like 30 minutes to 45 minutes. I don't even know. Okay? This is actually my first game. Okay? It has updated. It used to be just Reality's End. I updated it, to be it used to kind of suck, honestly. The maze area was just landscape that I had risen, and then I made it into actual rocks. And I, improved a bunch of other things. But, so it's a slightly bigger game than the original, right? But let's go ahead and let it download. Okay, it said finding server. You see how fast it downloaded, right? So not that big of a game. It says finding server. So if it lets me into this game, okay, see, we're stuck at downloading again. You see? It finished downloading and then went back into went to finding servers and then went back into downloading. Like, it's not that big of a game. I'm using all, in this one specifically, I'm using all Fortnite assets. None of my own assets were added to it, except for those little icons you could see at the beginning of the preview. So those icons for the classes were actually made by me. Okay? But everything else is Fortnite assets. And if you are a creator, you know that Fortnite assets are very low resources. They're low memory. They're low. It doesn't require anything to download them because it's already built into the game. So of course, anything with only Fortnite assets is going to download quickly, or be ready to play quickly. But you see, we're already at a minute and a half. We're stuck. This is all of my games. Before I started recording this, I did test every single one of my games, and then I went into any one of these games that was made by somebody else. This is something that I've played before, so I don't want to pick something that may have a stored cache. Like I've actually got the game stored somewhere. So let's go with something that I definitely have never played before. I can guarantee you I've never played this before, okay? I don't like build games. So, guarantee you, this game I've never played before, so let's try it. Downloading, finding a server. Let's see if it does the same thing. Finding server. Oh, there we go. Okay? So, my theory is that I don't necessarily think it's specific creators in general. You know, I don't think they're targeting me, but my theory is that they do move creators' islands to this, like, void, this no man's land, where they're not getting played. Nobody gets to play the game that other players do. It's very disappointing. I don't know what to do about it. I've submitted a ticket, but even doing that was a miracle in and of itself, because, like, they don't give me a way to submit tickets. Okay, this is actually an update to the prior video that you just saw. Initially, that video was posted by itself and unlisted for the purpose of showing Epic support that I was having these problems, not being able to play my own games, and suspecting that no one else can play them either. Long story short, they closed my ticket and provided let's actually take a look at it. Let's take a look at my ticket. Okay? My ticket basically was a series of, hey, look, man, this is what's going on. I don't think anybody can play my games because I can't access them. I can access anyone else's games, but mine are not available. And while I say I can access anyone else's, the reason that I'm putting this video out there is because I suspect that there are other creators just like me who may not be, the most popular creators out there, right? You got people of all levels in, say, making YouTube videos, for example. You got people who only get a few views, right? But those videos that they make stay out there, okay? But what I think I've stumbled across is that Epic Games removes the games. They remove them. They shelve them. They make them inaccessible. They're still technically listed in Discover, but they are not there. They're not accessible, okay? As seen in the video prior to what I'm saying right now. Okay, so I submitted this ticket. We went back and forth on, they won't accept YouTube links, by the way. So FYI, if you have this same issue, don't bother trying to send them a YouTube link. They won't watch it. Here's the next issue. You're supposed to somehow fit, and they've already closed this ticket, so I can't show you the upload portion here. But usually at the bottom of your ticket, it will say, hey, you can upload, all sorts of picture types and video types. I think it's only MP4, okay? So you can only upload an MP4, which is what I did. But all of it has to be within this ridiculous 9.5 megabyte upload limit, okay? How are you supposed to show or upload a video or create a video that is demonstrating a problem and keep it within a 9.5 megabyte upload limit? Anyway, that's a separate issue all in of itself, but that's Epic support for you. So here's what Epic told me once they finally were able to access my video to demonstrate, hey man, I think I caught you in something. I'm trying to be polite about it, but I think I caught you guys not making my game accessible. Okay? So Here's what, anyway. Due to the inconvenience you are experiencing, so they saw the video, I recommend that you complete each of the following steps, which you will find in the links I will be providing. It is important that you complete them in the order provided and that you follow the steps for each one. First of all, hang on, let's just go through the steps. Epic, this link takes you to how to reinstall the Epic Games Launcher. Okay? We're all familiar with the Epic Games Launcher and how terrible it is. It's garbage. Okay? But, okay, fine. What if I did that? First of all, let me reiterate, if I haven't done so already. I have not followed any of these steps. Because before I did this, I was so furious about this recommendation, I just went back and checked to see if I'm able to access it again today. After, again, I was not able to access it multiple days in a row. I went to try and access any of my games today, and voila, they're all working. Like it was never an issue. I actually attempted to, because I was going to test a theory. I updated my old Xbox, and I actually did launch the game, but that was also today. I launched one of my games on my old Xbox, and voila, it worked. That should have been something that I wish I would have tested first, and it wasn't, if it wasn't still working on my PC. But anyway, let's get back to the point here. How do I reinstall the Epic Games Launcher? It just basically walks you through uninstalling it and then reinstalling it. Reinstall Fortnite. They wanted me to uninstall and then reinstall Fortnite. Okay, mind you, I had some issues with frames. I had changed some settings on my graphics, and sorry, I have something caught in my throat. So I had changed some settings in my graphics, and mind you, this was in between having had this issue. So this issue did not stem from me making changes to Fortnite, by the way. Okay? Again, able to access any other person's game, at least on the front page. No idea about those people who never have anyone play any of their games. Was not able to play any of my games. I literally tested them all. How does that make sense? So far, the steps that they're suggesting make zero sense. Okay, so let's see. How to clear the launcher cache. Well, if I uninstall the games launcher and reinstall it, by the way, that's just poor. That's a very poor process if it doesn't clear its own cache. Okay? Good thing I didn't have to actually test this. So, launcher, when you uninstall, by the way, Epic, if you ever see this, if you have an uninstall, your uninstall process should clear the cache. That's basic shit, man. Do it. All right. So, last but not least, update my video card drivers. Really? Really? My graphic card drivers is the problem? Is as the reason as to why I can't access my own games? Okay? So again, all these garbage steps, garbage response. Before I even actually looked at this ticket, I received an email, and I was reading it from the email. So I had no idea what the status of the ticket was. I went and I tested the game. It's working. This is one of my games. Here it is, working, no issue. Finding a server, but before it would get stuck on preparing to download, or you saw the video. It's going to be before what I'm talking about right now. I'm so disorganized right now because I'm so mad about it, man. I'm so mad because I think that they're screwing over people who, I don't know, like, maybe my games aren't the best. I'm not trying to come off as, like, being one of the best people, one of the best creators out there. But I'd like to be given a chance. I'd like to be given, at least the opportunity for people to find my games and enjoy them. That's all I'm asking for. You know, make my games accessible. It feels like that's the deal. Like, the deal is I make games, I help promote your game, which is Fortnite, so you do the decent thing and make the game available to players. Okay? But here's the reason why I suspect that what my theory was is true. Because they closed the ticket. This is their list of things to try in response to not being able to access my own games, but being able to access other people's games, in which I demonstrated it in a video. This video right here is what I sent them. They say they saw it, right here. And they closed the ticket without ever finding out whether or not that worked. So, look, I know certain companies, their support isn't so good. Look, I've had issues with Epic support in the past. And I've had issues with other support companies before as well. You know, they do dumb things like close a ticket before something is resolved. But this, to me, this whole thing, making really ridiculous claims, and then my game, after multiple days of trying, is now accessible. It almost feels like they only made it accessible because I'm calling it out. Okay? So this is really sort of a PSA to anyone out there who may have a game that they have created and posted to, or published with Fortnite, and they don't get any players. Go and check whether or not your game is accessible. Try and play your own games. Okay? That's the PSA. Try it out. Make sure it works, because I have a feeling that they are shelving people's games.